Boebert takes off the gloves with Washington, D.C.'s woke mayor after she defunded the police. Go check it out.
Is Washington, D.C. more dangerous now that you're in office?
The nation is more dangerous with more guns and more violent
We're
crime.
talking about Washington, D.C. here, and we have also seen that the police budget has been cut, $15 million in 2020, Mayor. Do you think that this contributes to an increase in crime?
I think a lot of things have contributed to increases in crime across the country.
What about in Washington, D.C.? Do you think that the $15 million budget cut to MPD in 2020 caused an increase in crime here in the District of Columbia?
I think that we need to have 4,000 police officers over the course of the last several years.
So you want more police officers?
Yes.
Well, in the past, you've hired on average 300 new police officers each year, but in 2022, you hired 103. That's 200 less, and now you're advocating for more police officers after cutting their budget and hiring 200 less police officers.
I've advocated for more police every day as mayor of the District of Columbia. When I became mayor, we were facing a retirement bubble, and we set a course at that time for hiring and retention.
Did you believe that Washington, D.C. would be safer and more secure if you hired more police officers rather than decreasing the number of recruitment by 200?
We're not decreasing recruitment, but we are facing, as cities in police departments around the country, less interest in joining police departments.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that our police officers have been demonized because of the rhetoric that is flowing from this city and many other cities across our nation?
I think that policing is a tough job.
I would agree.
And it's a job that has grown tougher over the years. And I think that—
Particularly, when do you think it became more tough? Maybe when they were attacked for doing their jobs, protecting citizens? When they lost their funding?
Congressman, if I'm allowed to speak, I'll
Yes, ma'am.
answer you, but I'm not going to talk over you. And so it has been my experience in the last 8 years that we have had to use more incentives, and we have investigated and researched what it's going to take to attract young people to come into policing. One thing that we have done in the district, for example, is to create a police academy that we're very proud of. Chief Conti, in fact, joined the police academy when he was 17 years old and rose through the ranks to be chief of police.
I don't need to hear about childhood issues here.
Well,
so,
this is how we get
defund the police signs around District of Columbia and advocating for this is
advocate to
incentivizing?
defund the police.
But you did defund them. $15 million budget cut. A $15 million budget cut in 2020. So, Madam Mayor, what would you say to the law-abiding citizens here in Washington, D.C., who, because of policies you've supported, are unable to defend themselves with this rise in crime?
Boebert is specifically asking the mayor of Washington, D.C. about the Washington, D.C. and the increase in crime, right? She's specifically talking about the mayor and where her oversight is, which is Washington, D.C. But in the beginning, she's just saying stats are trying to speak to the country. Well, the country has a lot of crime. So I'm glad that Laura Boebert got her to specifically talk on behalf of Washington, D.C. and what's going on. And one of the things that she and other mayors now in other states who have defunded the police, they're trying to say, well, it's hard to recruit people into becoming police officers. And yeah, Laura's right. Well, maybe because it's the rhetoric that's out there in regards to not supporting the police department. But you know, the mayor is talking about recruiting new people. What about everyone that left the police department when all the rhetoric started about defunding the police and the lack of support they started having? Not everyone retired because they weren't into retirement years yet. They just left the police department. So why not make an effort to reach out to those people who left because of defunding, because of the rhetoric, and incentivize them to come back into the police department to help clean up the crime that has started because the mayor defunded the police department in the first place. Why not even consider doing that? Because not everyone retired specifically because they were looking to retire because it was time. They left because there was no support and because they had less money to support their salaries. So why not? Why not go back and reach out to them, right?